I remember the moment I understood how the system worked. I'd been with the company long enough to know the job inside out. I started at the bottom, I worked my way up and figured things out. I was good at it, and people knew they could count on me. And then someone would walk in, fresh out of college with a degree, and no idea how things worked in real life. And they got handed the position I'd been working toward. Granted, I didn't have a degree, I still don't, but I had years of experience in the field and a proven track record. I was angry and disappointed, and I filed away that rule, the one underneath the rule they told you about working hard to get ahead. It wasn't about what you could do, it was about what you could prove. And I took that lesson with me when I left the corporate world. I didn't know I was still carrying it, but I was. I'm Suzanne Arjona, and this is Life on Your Terms, where human design meets bold truth and permission to be real. You've played the role, you did what was expected, and now it's time to show up as you. When I left the corporate world and began coaching, the first thing I did was get certified. It was an intense 2-year program, but for me, it was important. Not just because coaching was a new thing back then and people didn't really know what it was, but it was a certificate I could hang on my wall, something I didn't have when I worked in the business world. It didn't stop there. Over the years, I've had lots of different interests and tools I've added to my coaching practice. And based on what I'd learned in corporate, I needed certifications in all of them if I was to be taken seriously. It didn't matter that I'd already been practicing herbalism for years. I signed up for a 2-year apprenticeship program so I could be official. And despite already teaching Tai Chi after taking over classes from my instructor, I still went through formal instructor certification to have that paper on the wall. That proof that showed the world I could do the job. Here's what was really going on. I already had the knowledge and experience that more than qualified me for the work I was doing, but my old conditioning took over. The conditioning that told me I had to prove my qualifications, I had to prove my worth and my value in the marketplace with certificates on my wall. There are a few places in the human design chart where this might show up. The will center holds your sense of value, your ability to manage your resources, to show up as yourself without needing to justify it. And the spleen center holds survival, intuition, and fear. In this instance, gate 48, which is undefined in my chart, holds the fear of inadequacy. And gate 18, which is defined in my chart, holds the fear of being judged. So having had the previous experience of being passed over by someone with a concrete, provable value, I allowed that conditioning to dictate how I needed to show up in the future. Rather than embracing the skills I had and my proven track record, I relied on something outside of me to dictate my worth. The irony in all of this is that I've seen this pattern and called it out in clients before. And that's the thing about conditioning. It doesn't care what you know intellectually. If you, or in this case, me, if I haven't recognized it and addressed it firsthand, it'll continue to run the show. Now, this recognition usually isn't a light bulb moment. It's a slow shift. You start to recognize the pattern and begin acknowledging your gifts and everything you have to offer the world. You begin to trust that you are enough, not because you finally accumulated enough proof, but because you stopped needing that proof to know that you're worthy. I'd like to close this episode with some questions for you to contemplate. Number 1, how do you measure your value in the world? Number 2, where do you see yourself second-guessing your value? And number 3, what beliefs about your self-worth do you need to let go of? Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to joining you again in the next episode. And when you're ready to begin living in your design, you can book a human design reading with me, where we'll look at your chart and your specific questions so we can clear the path toward living life on your terms. You can visit my website, SuzanneArjona.com, to choose which reading is best for you.